And joining me live now is royal commentator and biographer Angela Levin. Angela, so great to see you. It is such a huge occasion here in London today. We've seen a little bit more detail about what's involved in the state funeral. We know the Queen was involved. We just heard about her deep and abiding faith. The Archbishop of Canterbury said he believes that she is at peace. He met with her just a couple of months ago, and this is a day that she said she didn't want to be long and boring. It's certainly not going to be that.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, really, because she was in her favourite place. She was relaxed. She had her immediate family come and see her regularly. The King Charles was in and out every day in the morning to make sure that she was all right and talk to her, make her feel loved. And she's got this passion of tidying up. I know she said to somebody, I don't want to leave any mess, I want everything to be tidied. And one was the reason why she said on the first day of her Jubilee, Platinum Jubilee year, that she wanted Camilla to be Queen Consort, not Princess Consort. So nobody's going to fight that. There has been fighting over it since they married in 2005. But if the Queen says that, just a few weeks before she passes, then nobody's going to argue with that. So she's got what she wanted. She wants Scotland to be part of the UK, so that we're all one, that we are the United Kingdom. And so she was there, and her coffin stayed there overnight. And it gave the Scottish people a feeling that she does care for them, and they have seen her first before she comes down to London. And I think that a lot of people who are quite keen on the referendum now don't want it. There's a percentage that they don't want it because they want to stay close to Her Majesty. She had the most extraordinary powers, not that she forced them, but natural power, the sort of magic quality that everybody all around the world, any age, think that she's wonderful.
Magic is certainly the word that's been coming to mind. Stoic, sacrifice, all those words this week. We just showed our audience a photo of the Queen, the last official portrait that has been released, and isn't it glorious?
It's absolutely,
it's a beautiful photo.
And you see on her, you could read her face. What a lovely woman.
Here it is again.
Yes.
That smile, those sparkling eyes, and even a hint of cheekiness.
Yes, it's a hint of naughtiness. And of course she loved that. And if you remember during the Jubilee celebrations that she did this wonderful cartoon with Paddington Bear. And he was drinking tea out of the teapot.
She's quite the actress in there, wasn't
she was very good. And she should produce these sandwiches. There's been so many discussions about what Her Majesty has had in her handbag, because she always carries the same sort of handbag.
And what is in there? Is there an iPhone?
Well, we know
a marmalade sandwich?
We know now that there was a marmalade sandwich. I mean, it was brilliantly done. Brilliantly done.
Angela, one thing that has struck me this week as well is the Queen, in her way, was a great feminist. She was bringing the royal family into modernity, and she was doing it subtly. We didn't always realise it at the time, but she was constantly changing. The youthfulness of the royal family is one of her lasting legacies, if you like. And Princess Charlotte and Prince George involved, her great-grandchildren involved in today's ceremony. I think it perhaps wasn't a decision of the Queen, but it was of William and Kate. I think that's going to be a huge moment.
Yes, I think it really is. And we've seen on the programme that they're above the Sussexes, and they're actually going to walk behind the coffin. I think that's quite extraordinary and very brave of William, because when he walked down behind the coffin of his mother 25 years ago, it devastated him. It was terrible. He couldn't cope. And when he did find the Queen coming down to London, that he felt that he hadn't really got over that. It sort of restarted it. So there, with his children, I think he wants to establish that this is what happens. But we're all together, we're a family, and we can manage it. We'll really manage it.
Yeah, Camilla is quite an interesting subject. Her evolution in the eyes of the public and within the royal family. You talk about her being Queen's consort, and that's what Queen Elizabeth wanted. She made sure she did that before she died. She has proven to be King Charles's rock, and I think now there is a great affection for Camilla. Would you agree?
Yes, I've been lucky enough to have written her biography, which is coming out at the end of the month. And it's the most extraordinary story of how she was called the most hated woman in the world. People disliked her and were really malicious towards her and blamed her for Diana's death. But she's actually worked her way through it, partly through love. She loves Prince Charles.
It is a deep love, isn't
yes,
it?
Yes,
It's a beautiful love story.
It's a beautiful love story, and he's so different, and that's what helped bring the Queen round. Actually, she wouldn't go anywhere where Camilla was. She refused to do that for years.
Wow.
Oh yes, even for Prince Charles's 50th birthday, she knew she would be there, and she refused to go. But you know,
it seems that at the end that Queen Elizabeth did have a deep respect for her.
yes, and she did, because she could see the difference in Prince Charles. He was relaxed, he was happy, he was more confident. He knew he had a support. He said about her, she's the only woman I could ever really talk to, and that was when he was 22. So he's had that feeling about her. They laugh, they've got the same sense of humour, rather like the Queen. There's a twinkle in the eye there as well.
Certainly.
And she's done brilliantly for him, and she's worked very hard. She cares about the monarchy. She has a sense of devotion to duty, and I think that that's really, the Queen noticed that and was very grateful. So they've also got lots in common: horses, dogs, humour, and the countryside. You know, there's lots there.
There is. Angela Levin, our pleasure to talk to you this morning. You've been wonderful company. Thank you. And
Thank
this
you.
is a live shot as the sun is rising over Westminster Palace. And in just a couple of hours' time, the Queen, in a final send-off for her state funeral. It will be a grand affair on a scale we're likely never to have seen before.